Pixel 7 Pro in 2023. How is it? Well, it's been almost 7 months. And I have to say that. I was going to make a 6-month later video. I got busy with stuff and forgot that I didn't make it. So here we are at 7 months. We're a week off, but I think it's a good time to talk about this because Google I/O is happening in just a few days. And that's going to be really cool. If you don't know what Google I/O is, it's Google's annual developer conference. They also like to announce products there. So we're supposed to be seeing the Pixel Fold officially released or announced, the Pixel 7a, the Pixel Pad or tablet, whatever you want to call it, and maybe a few other things. So the Pixel 7 Pro. I've been using it again as a daily driver for the last 2 weeks, and I thought it would be a good time to talk about it because I've had a lot of time with this phone over the last 7 months, and now, even using it most recently the last 2 weeks, primary SIM card in it. I ditched my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm using the iPhone SE 2022. I made a video about that. I love this phone. You can get some insight on that there. You can watch this video if you want. And yeah, so what do I think about it now that we're 7 months into this life cycle of this product, and how are things going? Well, the overall evaluation, I think it's a very good phone. And I think the biggest thing for the Pixel 7 series was that, ta-da, they upgraded and fixed so many things. There was a lot of issues and bugs and quirks and especially software problems, especially with Android 12 whenever the Pixel 6 launched. And they got kind of a clean slate whenever it came to the Pixel 7 Pro, and something new happened with this phone. The operating system came out before the phone, and I've been advocating for that for a long time. Why? Because the worst thing you could possibly happen is launch a new phone and new software at the same time, especially when you're changing things up and you're putting in a new chip. I mean, this is the Google Tensor 2, the second generation one. Last year was a perfect storm for disaster. New design, new chip, new operating system, bam. Put it in an easy bake oven and disaster. So performance has been solid. I really enjoy using it. It's nice, it's snappy. I'm a big fan of Google's version of Android, which is the authentic. This is the OG, and it's funny because for so long, we were like, okay, we called it vanilla Android. We call it just plain stock Android. But with Material You and all the different things that they've done, let me turn the brightness down a little bit so you can see the screen. I think it looks good. And it's funny because so you see how the color is all kind of mixed together with shades of green? That's actually based off of my Pixel 6 because I had the Pixel 6, well, I still have it, in the green color. So whenever the new phones came out last year, 2 years ago now, the colors and the backgrounds and everything and the theme match the color of the phone. So whenever I copied everything over, it's still green. So anyway, the widget stuff, the interactions, the swipe gestures, the overall flow of the operating system, it pretty much never crashes on me. I don't have any problems, no hiccups. And one thing that perpetually irks me, people like to talk about how choppy and jittery Twitter is for Android. And I mean, I don't have any problems with it. It's nice and smooth, works just fine. I don't know what people are seeing. I use it on iOS and I use it on Android all the time. No problems. So, big, beautiful screen. The brightest, best screen that you've ever had in a Pixel phone. I think it stands out. I think it does a good job. Definitely, it's not as good as the Samsungs. And it's funny because Samsung makes this screen, by the way. I made a video earlier in the year saying that the Pixel 7 was the best Samsung phone you could buy because it's over 50% made by Samsung parts. So basically the same thing here. The screen is nice, has great haptic feedback. It's a pleasure to type on. And for somebody who comes from the background of physical keyboards, tactility is key. Like, you really need to have a good typing experience and have good supportive, like really good haptic feedback so it like accents and makes it enjoyable when you type. One of the reasons why I hate typing on an iPhone so much. They never had haptic feedback, and then they finally brought it in, and it's just not very good. I don't find it good at all. So the haptics on here are solid. I think the cameras are good. I think they've gotten better, and that's something that generally is a good thing that happens because they come out, they get more optimization. This is the second generation using these cameras, and if the rumors are to be believed, the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro are going to get an even newer sensor. So it's going to be the fastest turnaround on their flagship models for the cameras. Got to keep up with the Benjamins, or somebody inform me in the comments it's the Joneses, but I say Benjamins because money, and yeah, they're always trying to make money off this stuff and stay on top of things. So anyway, yes, I know it's supposed to be the Joneses, but whatever. So the cameras are good. Cameras are very good, in fact, and I enjoy them. There have been big upgrades in video and stability, and also in the microphone pickup. A lot of stuff that they've really hammered down and gotten a lot better at. So that was important, especially because of all the stuff for multimedia now, especially when it comes to TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. Everybody likes to use the selfie camera, record themselves, and share it with the rest of the world. This phone is perfectly good for doing that. However, I will admit that iPhones do it better. iOS and the way that it interacts with TikTok and with like Instagram Reels and stuff, it works better. I don't know why. The videos and the apps and the support and all that stuff on Android, it's just not as good of an experience, but it works just fine. I mean, there's millions of people using an Android phone. So it works fine. You get all the app support you want, play all your things. You get 3 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. So we're still in the first year of that. So Android 14 beta is already out, open beta. You can actually get in on board that. And I did. That's on my Pixel 6 right now. It's kind of neat. A couple cool little things. One thing I like about it, and we'll be seeing more about this in a few days when it comes to Google I/O, they're going to talk about Android 14 and some of the new updates. So if you remember back to whenever the flash notifications came out using the LED flashlight and also the screen, that's actually baked into Android 14 now. So whenever we get the official version, or if you get the beta, you can set it up so when you get a text message, a notification or whatever, your flashlight will flash, the LED, and then your screen will also flash. Or you can have one or both or whatever. So Google is always looking and adding new stuff in here. So that's one of the things. Google always gets the stuff first. And then also we get the quarterly feature drops. So that's 4 times a year. We get a couple new little things here and there, odds and ends, updates and stuff like that. So I think from a software experience, it's pretty good. And I've been having a good time with it. Yes, they've kind of fallen off a little bit. They're not. I think Samsung is more reliable and faster in most instances in getting the updates out to the flagship phones. But at least this month, for May, they were timely and got it out on the very first of the month. So Google won this month. Now, cameras are good. Battery life, I want to talk about that briefly. I get about 6 hours screen on time, pretty much maximum on this phone. And that's even after all the updates, everything else. I don't really find that the battery life has improved. Even with more optimization, even with more software updates, even with what Google has supposedly done to make the battery life better over time, still about the same. Basically, since I've got the phone, it's been about 6 hours of screen on time, and I think that's okay. That's the minimum for me for a daily, like full-fledged flagship phone. If I'm carrying a phone as a daily driver, I need 6 hours of screen on time to guarantee I can get everything I need in a day. Because my days are sometimes very long, and I'm very hard on my phones, and the screen's on a lot. So screen on time really drains the battery more than just about anything, because it's the biggest battery user on the phone. Sound is good stereo speakers. Of course, there's no headphone jack, but it does have wireless charging, and it has all the other nice things you want on here, reverse wireless charging, and I think that it sounds good with the earbuds, especially with the Pixel Buds Pro. I have the Pixel Buds Pro. I also have the Pixel Watch. Those work well with it. The Pixel Watch, I think we might be seeing, maybe we might get some sort of a screenshot, a snapshot at Google I/O, because there's rumors we might get a Pixel Watch 2 this fall to launch with the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, so that would be very interesting to see. But all in all, I've been very happy with the phone. I like it a lot. I think Google's done a pretty good job. I know that we've had a couple of things here and there, like some people's camera lenses just spontaneously shattering, and Google has refused to cover that. Also, there's been some buttons that pop off here and there, which I actually had somebody DM me the other day saying, hey, my power button fell out. Do you know where I can get a replacement power button? I was like, well, you can check eBay or call Google. I'm not really sure. You would think that stuff would be covered under the warranty. And there's been some other software hiccups here and there. So it hasn't been a fairy tale story since this phone has come out. But across the board, we've had significant improvement over the Pixel 6 of last year. And then also we've had significant improvements in tightening things up and efficiency and overall smoothness of the operating system. Android 13 has been really good and very reliable. Also, something I get asked about a lot, the cell phone modem. The modem in here is fine. It's definitely way better than the one we had last year in the Pixel 6. I have no issues with it. I live in Houston. I travel with this. I took it with me to Vegas. I've taken it to New York. I've gone all over the place, and I get a good signal in here. I don't have any problems with it. The only other thing I would really kind of remark on is it does weirdly just warm up sometimes. And this, I had the flashlight on and the screen on at the same time for about 15-20 minutes the other day. It got warm. Now, it didn't get super hot, but you wouldn't really think just having the screen on and the flashlight on would cause your phone to get warm. It's not really using the processor all that much. If you do some intensive gaming, if you use GPS for a while, it can get a little warmer than what you might expect in some other chips, but the Snapdragon chips, a lot of them do the same thing. So it's not really, whenever you're using things like recording 4K video for 20 minutes, yes, pretty much every phone's going to get hot. But this one, I've never had it overheat. And that's something I want to touch on, because a lot of people are like, oh, it overheats on me. And then I ask them, like, oh, well, it gets hot. Yeah, just because it gets warm or it gets hot at any point in time doesn't mean it overheated. Overheated means it gets so hot that the phone doesn't perform properly. You get like a crash notification. Your app starts acting erratically. The screen gets real dark. There's just a lot of different things. Just because it gets warm, or any phone for that matter, that's just blanket statement, doesn't mean it's overheating. It's doing what it's doing. It's just some phones get warmer than others. There's no radiator in here. There's no fan that wicks away the hot air. There's no air conditioning system. There's no liquid cooling. Those little chips that are in there produce quite a bit of heat when you're doing things like maybe playing Diablo Immortal or playing Apex Legends or playing PUBG on maxed out graphics, right? So fairly understandable, but weird that it just got warm while I was using the flashlight and had the screen on. So that's about all I got. Hopefully I didn't really miss anything, but just coming back and using it again as a daily driver for the last couple of weeks, I enjoy it. I like the screen. I like the form factor. I like the build. I've been a big advocate for the way that the new Pixel 6 and 7 look. I actually like the more industrial, more blocky appearance with the Pixel 6 Pro than the 7 Pro. But hey, this is their design. They're rolling with it. Also, I've got a little plate that covers my cameras there to protect them. That's why it looks that way. But they've got decent accessories you can get on Google. The pricing has been really good. They've had these things as cheap as like $5.99 if you activate it with your carrier or through Best Buy, like a lot of times since the phone has come out. So $8.99, I think it's a good phone. Getting it cheaper than that, that's pretty much been what a lot of people have done this year. And that trend will probably continue, especially as we get closer to the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro this fall. But looking at it even in 2023, I think it's a good option. I think it's a good phone. I think it's the best Pixel phone that Google's ever made, especially the screen. I enjoy using it. It's got the slightly subtle curved edge. You get the 120 hertz refresh rate, Quad HD Plus resolution, 5,000 milliamp battery, 12 gigs of RAM. It has everything, and you can use it. You can enjoy it. And, oh yeah, the only other thing I'm not crazy about, the charging speed's not the greatest in the world. I know it's advertised about 30 watts, but yeah, the adaptive, what you actually get where the rubber meets the road, is significantly less than that. And it's one of the slower charging flagship phones out there on the market. Also IP68 dust and water resistance, just to throw that out there. But yeah, I think it's a good phone. I think it's going to keep trucking along. It's going to be good for years. It should just get better over time, which is a good thing. And I'm going to wrap this one up. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to go to the comment section. We can talk about it. And if you've got one, if you've had a good experience, a bad experience, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Sound off in the comment section as well. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button, little notification bell if you please, if you want notifications when the videos come out, which is every single day, sometimes more than one if you're lucky. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.